All right, fam. What up? This is Sensei. Today I'm gonna talk about I got a question as to why did I choose a Harley-Davidson. Yesterday's video we posted on how to basically choose your first bike, right? So I'm gonna just take a quick early morning ride, and we're gonna discuss what made me choose a Harley-Davidson. I mean, it falls hand in hand with the same type of question, how to choose your first bike. So let's talk about what my first motorcycle was. My first motorcycle was a Suzuki Katana. And I really enjoyed that bike. That bike is like a touring bike. It's like a cross between a touring bike and a race bike. And when I tell you that bike was one of the most comfortable motorcycles, I had it all orange. Yes, I was loving orange back in those days. And this was like about 2006, I want to say. I mean, it was years ago, a long time ago. The Suzuki Katana, I purchased that bike from my cousin who made me love motorcycles as a kid growing up when I was in Jamaica. He passed away, unfortunately, from a motorcycle accident, which was horrific and terrible, right? So I ended up buying my first motorcycle from his brother in Connecticut. So I rode the Suzuki for a bit, and then after that, I got rid of it. And then I bought me a Gixxer. I bought me a 1997 GSXR. Loved it. Once I got rid of the Gixxer, then I got me a Honda 929 CBR. Beautiful bike. So all race bikes, no touring bikes. My wife had the F2, the Honda F2, and I believe the F3 and the Yamaha FZR. So we used to ride together all over the streets of New York. I never really cared about riding long distance, just enjoying the bike and riding and just being a part of the motorcycle world, right? Once I did that, I started thinking more about cruiser bikes because I felt like, I had a kid. I want to be more responsible. We had kids. My wife, she decided to stop riding because we had our first son together. So that kind of slowed us down as far as riding. So we sold those bikes. So I said, all right, I'm going to get me a cruiser now. And during that time, I didn't want no Harley-Davidson because I always thought that those bikes, number one, was for older people. Number two, was for older white people. And it didn't appeal to me because it felt like the Harley-Davidson world was more racist than anything else. That's how I felt at the time. And there are a lot of, if you guys are white watching this video, there are a lot of people who are not white who feel the same way. And there are a lot of people who are white who still to this day feels like it's not for black people. So my feelings wasn't necessarily incorrect, but later down the line, I proved to be incorrect. But we'll go on to that in a second. So I went to Yamaha, which is up in New Rochelle. There's a dealership in New Rochelle. Met up with a dude named Mike. They used to work there. So I bought me a V-Star. Now, when I bought the V-Star, when you look at something in a showroom, it looks bigger and better and prettier than it does on the streets, right? So I bought the V-Star, brand spanking new. I rode it for about a year, and then I realized that the V-Star was way too small for me. I mean, I came from a Honda 929, a Gixxer, so I'm used to power, I'm used to speed. So I got rid of that, and I wanted something more sportier, something that was kind of like in the chopper world, right? Because during that time, the chopper was amazing. I mean, this is like doing 2006. I believe 2006. The choppers was just on the money, and I just started seeing them. So, and then they had the Honda Fury, I believe it's called, and then I bought so I ended up buying the Raider, the Yamaha Raider, which was a bad bike. I mean, I love that Raider. It was all blue. So I got it powder coated, got the wheels done, got the fender cut to make it more short, a shorter detail on the bike. But the problem with that is I couldn't find parts for the bike. Like, I wanted the bike to have a certain look and appeal, but I quickly found out that those bikes were not customizable. You just couldn't find the parts. So I sold that bike. Loved it. I mean, the bike was, if you saw the bike, you would have just been like, damn, bro, that bike looks sick. Another buddy of mine, Steve, had the same exact bike, so we would ride around New York and the Bronx, all over the place, man. And people would just come up to us and talk to us about the bikes. He had the ape hangers at the time, and I wasn't really into high bars at the time. So I sold that bike. I decided to give up on the bike, and what did I do? What did I do after that? Okay, I gave up motorcycles. Didn't want no more motorcycles because, you know, got the kids, got this, got that. So then I moved on to another motorcycle. I said, you know what? I want another bike. I bought the Suzuki C90T. Now, the C90T is a beautiful bike. I mean, I wish I never sold that bike. I wish I haven't sold all of my bikes, to tell you the truth. But the C90T was one of the baddest bikes and one of the longest bikes I kept. I kept that bike for a long time. It brought me all the way out to California. I didn't ride it to California, but I mean, I had it from Connecticut all the way through California. And then I bought me a Suzuki Boulevard, the M90. Didn't ride that bike much, but I was going to turn that bike into a bagger. So I started looking at videos, how to turn the bike into a bagger. Once again, the same problem. Could not customize these bikes for nothing. All these metric bikes. Now, the metric bikes, to me, they are awesome. Listen, if you have a metric motorcycle, please understand that your bike is way better built than a Harley-Davidson. I know Harley people is going to get mad about it, but it's just the truth. Every single one of my metric bikes I've had sitting outside in the winter in New York during snowstorms, and I would go outside at any moment and start that bike up. That bike would fire right up. I never had any issues. And my C90T, I was able to get some amazing sounds. I put some Cobra pipes in that bad boy, and that thing just sounded like a beast. I loved it. I even had Harley guys who would come up to me like, bro, that bike sounds great. So don't just get lost in just Harleys. The metric bikes, if you got a metric bike, you know, you got the drivetrain. It's not the drive shaft. It is not a belt. It's not chains. Metric bikes are amazing. The VTX, the Honda VTX, amazing. All those bikes are awesome. So I sold those bikes once again, and then I went to Harley just to do a walk around in California. Man, when I saw the prices of those Harley-Davidsons, I was like, your mama. Your mama. I ain't buying that damn spending no $35,000 for no damn motorcycle when I'm coming from spending, you know, $5,000 for bikes. Like, you crazy? I could not fathom that. So I gave that the middle finger, like, no. But what I did learn was what a street glide was, the difference between a street glide and a road glide, and the fairing moves on the street glide. The fairings don't move on a road glide. And then I saw the Road King. The Road King is like the base bottom with a street glide and the road glide. And there's no fairings in the front, but you do get the bag still in the back. And I started learning a whole lot more about that, right? So this is years later now. This is no longer, I mean, now I'm living around white people. I'm living around all kinds of folks now. This ain't just the Bronx guy that grew up around Puerto Ricans and blacks. All right, so now I'm seeing Harley-Davidson's different. So that's what got me to even start going into a Harley dealership. Now, let me go backwards. Years back when we lived in New York, me and my wife went into a Harley dealership, which felt racist as hell for real. I ain't gonna lie to you. They was looking at us kind of weird. And that was the one up in New Rochelle, which I ended up going there years later. The vibe was completely different. So is there a racist piece towards Harley-Davidsons back in the days and dealerships and stuff like that? Yes, of course there was. Anybody who says no, they're living underneath a rock. But like I said, I grew up, I matured, I started seeing things a little different. I started analyzing people a little different, right? So I moved to Georgia, and I said, damn it, you know what? I want to get me a bike. I want to get me a Harley. So I started looking at Harleys, and I got my Harley. I told myself years back, when I get to a certain level in my life, I will buy a Harley-Davidson, because they started to appeal to me. The road glides, the soft tails, the street glides, the Road Kings. And when I went to the dealership, I went originally to go get me a Road King because I still kind of love the style of my C90T, but I wanted to get the Harley version of that, right? So after talking to Bobby, who was a sales guy that I bought my bike from, we talked about it, and this was during the time of that virus that hit the earth, right? So I said, you know what? It was cheaper to buy. You actually end up getting a newer bike for less money than a used bike. I mean, it's not less money, but You're talking about a $5,000, $4,000 difference. I said, you know what? I'm buying a brand new bike. So that's what got me to really get into a Harley. There was no special thing. I'm not a Harley-Davidson guy. I'm not like only open to Harley-Davidsons. Like, you know, Harley-Davidson is the best. It's not. I'm just going to tell you the truth. Harleys are not the best. However, if you take care of your Harley-Davidson and you get the maintenance and your oil change and you make sure you're looking at everything the way it needs to be done and you're keeping your PSIs correct and you're doing your, you know, you're doing all that stuff, the Harley is a great bike. It's awesome. I love my Harleys, right? But the thing about it too is like with the Harley-Davidsons, right? I think a lot of people know that they're getting ripped off with a Harley-Davidson. But what I love about the Harley is that we know that all guys who own and women who own Harleys know that we're getting ripped off because the price points is just ridiculous. But you're buying into a community. You see, that's the thing. When you have a Honda, an Indian, a Suzuki, it's hard to find dealers along the routes when you're taking long drives, long rides, right? The Harley Davidson has got this thing locked down. It's like a monopoly. The Harley dealership, the marketing has been number one. Nobody beats the market in the Harleys. And like I said, you're buying into a community. It's kind of like a huge brotherhood. That's what Harley Davidson is. Now, will I ever go and buy like an Indian motorcycle? Not really. The Indian motorcycles don't appeal to me. But it doesn't mean I hate the Indians. I just love the Harley. I like the Harley brand. And there's something about Harley. Think about it like this for me, right? You got Netflix and you have Amazon Prime. Now, somebody's saying, hey man, I'm gonna go home and go watch Amazon Prime. Doesn't have the same ringtone as I'm gonna go home and go watch some Netflix. Because Netflix is the boss when it comes to video streaming. It's the original, the Dandada, after Redbox, Netflix. So both of them do the same. The both of you can watch videos. The both of you can sit there and watch movies and stream some awesome series. The same thing as the Indian and Harley. But you know, when I tell somebody, and yes, this is going to be me talking about the stigma and me talking about quality and me talking about, you know, props and stuff like that. If I tell somebody, yeah, I got an Indian, it don't sound the same as, forget me telling somebody, my wife. If my wife is talking to her buddies and she's like, yeah, my husband, her friend, like, yeah, my husband has an Indian. And she's like, yeah, my husband has a Harley. It's just a different ring to that Harley-Davidson sound. It's like that classic American feel, even though both of them are American. And my buddy Mike Speetson, who's a CFO for Polaris, used to talk to me about Harley-Davidsons all the time. Like, bro, you need to get a Harley-Davidson. Honestly, right? I just love, an Indian. You need to get an Indian. But I said, bro, at that time, I didn't even have a Harley. I just wanted my regular bikes that I had. So Harley-Davidson, to me, it's an amazing community to be with. It has so much more opportunities to customize your bikes. Whereas all the other bikes that I owned that were in the cruiser family, I couldn't customize them. And if I had to customize them, you had to manipulate things to make it work. Harley-Davidson is a top dog. I'm a customizing type of guy, as you guys know now. So that's another win-win for me with the Harleys, is you can take your Harley, put all different types of cams, all different types of pipes. You can make a street glide into a road glide. You can make a road glide into a road king. You can make a soft tail into a freaking bagger. I mean, there's so many things. You know, it's all, your imagination goes endless with a Harley-Davidson. And the Harley-Davidson also holds its value. The Harleys holds a great value, believe it or not. So I am loving being a Harley-Davidson owner as at the time of making this video. But as you guys know, I'm going into the adventure bikes next year, and I might end up loving those more. I don't know, right? But right now, as of the time of making this video in 2024, I personally love the Harley. So if you're thinking about buying a Harley-Davidson, I'm gonna tell you to go for it, because you can't go wrong really in a Harley-Davidson. And nowadays there are a lot of places that you can get deals on your bikes. Like I bought my Softail at Maximum Motors where it was a salvage bike, and I fixed it up. I learned how to do a whole lot of things on my bike. And once you have a reputable mechanic too, like I have Bo from Image Power Sports, like I could lean on him anytime anytime I have something that I know I need help with. Bo is the man, because Bo can take your bike apart and put it back together with his eyes closed and hands tied behind his back. The dude is just a genius. So once you have a strong team of people around you, sky's the limit. So don't let other people's like bad experiences with Harley-Davidsons take you out from buying a Harley. You know what I'm saying? Harleys are fantastic. The seating position of a Harley is great. You know, you have a nice low seat, and the sit back style is like, you know, is made for riding. Like right now, I'm riding my Softail. I'm gonna tell you, it feels phenomenal on the Softail. I won't ride a Softail long distance because of my back issues, but for me, riding locals and, you know, bar hopping and stuff like that, the Softails is phenomenal. Another point that I'll tell you about Harleys is you get to build relationships with people along the way. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can build relationships with motorcycles in general, but your Harley is guaranteed to strike conversations with somebody else. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you another thing too. Harley-Davidson's technology has gotten way better than back in the days, because back in the days, Harleys did break down a whole lot. They really did. It was carbureted, it wasn't fuel injected, there was a whole lot of issues with that. People would ride in rainstorms and the stuff would get clogged up. It used to be a lot of issues, and I used to see Harley-Davidsons broken down on the road. I never seen any Metro Cruisers broken down on the road unless the driver was pulling over to take a piss. That's it. So Harleys used to have the reputation of just like being an expensive bike for no reason. So, but that changed, guys. My bike, I've had issues with my motorcycle, my Road Glide, and my Softail, but my Softail was issues because of things that needed to be done over time. This is an 05, wear and tear. My Road Glide, it was something that Harley-Davidson's mechanics did. They messed up stuff that got my stator to be jacked up, and I got shut off in North Carolina. But that was not based on the bike itself. That was based on error, human error. And other than that, minor things to worry about on a Harley. So yeah, so that's my wrap. What made me buy a Harley? I'm just special. I'm just special. So special. But here's the thing though. You are watching this video, and once again, I said it before, I don't care what kind of bike you have. I'm just speaking my purpose. Somebody in the group thread asked, why did I buy a Harley? So that's what led me to buying a Harley. Once again, I'm not a die-hard Harley fan where you won't see me riding another bike. I'm making that very, very clear to you guys. I'm not one of those guys who is stuck on just one brand. Nope, I'm not. So get out there, guys. Ride these bikes. Feel these bikes out. Understand what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Know what makes your heart rate go up, what makes your vibrancy energized, what gives you that energy that makes you say, damn it, this is fantastic. Because right now I'm getting some serious, amazing energy right now just riding my bike. That's it, riding my Harley. Whoa! All right, so this is Sensei, man. I'm just giving y'all some input why I bought a Harley. Now you leave it in the comment section why you bought a Harley-Davidson, or why you did not buy a Harley-Davidson, why you do not own a Harley-Davidson. I just want to know that as well. All right, so listen, I love y'all. I'm gonna keep on popping out this stuff, this content, because that's what makes this channel so much fun, because we talk about anything. Now, before I go, what I do want to ask you guys is this. Ride Fit Nation, the goal is to connect with riders all over the country, not to make a motorcycle club or riding club, none of that, but to develop a group of riders where we have people representing Ride Fit Nation in different parts of the world. Whereas, you know, when you guys are taking rides, and I'm going to get the little baby patch made, not a patch that goes in the back, once again, not a club thing, but I would love it for you guys to start shooting some amazing videos so I can get them, edit them, and start throwing those videos on the channel where it's not just me. I want to see what you guys are doing in different parts of the country. Shoot the videos, talk about things in the videos, and make sure you shoot the videos landscape style, not vertical, not like stories for Instagram, stuff like that. Shoot videos, shoot them, give me those things so we can start to add more stuff into the channel, because I really want Ride Fit Nation to become a nation for real. So when people come to this channel, they're not just seeing Sensei, they're seeing other people that's a part of the family. All right, so if you have not done it yet, don't forget, subscribe to the channel, join the family, go to the group me threads, the Softail Riders thread, join that if you have Softails, and the regular Ride Fit Nation thread, join that. Get involved, guys, because we're going to be posting a whole bunch of rides, and you can post your rides as well. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.